This episode of Thrillers and Killers is brought to you by Anchor.
If you haven't heard about Anchor by Spotify, it's the easiest way to make a podcast with everything you need all in one place. Let me explain. Anchor has the tools that allow you to record and edit your podcast right from your phone or your computer.
When hosting on Anchor, you can distribute your podcast on listening platforms like Spotify, Apple Podcasts, and more.
It's everything you need to make a podcast all in one place. And best of all, it's totally free.
Download the Anchor app or go to anchor.fm to get started.
Welcome to the Thrillers and Killers podcast. Today we're going to be covering A Quiet Place, directed by John Krasinski. Starring Emily Blunt and John Krasinski. Budget 17. Box office 300 point.
I'm pretty sure that's enough to get you killed, bro. I think you're being too loud. I think for this episode we should just go quiet. The whole episode's silent.
IMDb rating 7.5 out of. By the way, this is Doug, Aaron, Brian, and Jacob.
Are we fucking whispering our names? Hello.
Now we're good. Fucking send it.
Alright, so-
I wasn't even listening to you. What did you cover exactly? Is there anything else we need?
Everything.
Because I'm just laughing in the background.
We've been over everything, bro.
Yeah.
The names, the budget, IMDb,
Okay.
starring. What do you mean you weren't fucking listening?
I was enamored with the fact that you were actually whispering.
All right, I'm already triggered. We just started. Great.
Okay. You want to jump in the plot?
No, not really.
Who wants to do the plot this time?
Your movie pick. Here you go. What is the plot, Aaron?
All right. So, basically, there are these aliens that come from, well, space, and they are
That's not actually
Sure.
covered in the movie.
Yeah, it is. In the newspapers, it says they're from space? Question mark.
You sit there and read the fucking newspapers?
I've watched the movie like 6 fucking times, dude.
Oh, God.
I've seen this way too much. Anyway, they're from space, and they are attracted to sound, and by attracted I mean they hate it, so they want to destroy it. So you have to be super fucking quiet. Like one noise, dead. So his family, I don't know what their, I guess the Abbotts, is that their last name? I think their last name's Abbott.
Yes.
They have 3 kids. They have a very young son, a medium young son, and an older daughter. And the youngest son gets waxed by one of these creatures because he picks up a toy rocket and puts the batteries in, and that's enough.
It's actually a space shuttle.
He calls it a rocket, you know. And after that, it skips like a whole year. And then it basically follows his family as they try to birth another child. And while the son, John Krasinski, are off doing shit at the river, I guess learning how to fish and stuff, the wife ends up going into labor, and she she steps on this fucking nail. It's just a whole shit show. Shit starts going down. The aliens coming to get her because she broke a picture or some bullshit. And yeah, the son has to light off fireworks to get the aliens away, because if you make a noise that's louder than the noise that they are hunting, they'll go to that noise instead. So he lights off fireworks, that attracts him or whatever. The wife's able to birth this
It's
child.
probably important to point out that the monsters can't fucking see.
Oh yeah, they use like
I don't
echolocation.
think they even have eyes.
And
No.
and also the daughter is deaf.
Yes.
That's important in the
Yeah,
movie
she has
too.
like a fucking. It's literally like some Darwinian shit.
I think it's. I don't want to say it because I'm gonna mispronounce it. So I'm bad at pronouncing things. Cochlear device.
Yeah, that's it.
Yeah,
Yeah,
cochlear.
cochlear.
They're literally better at surviving than other people because their daughter's deaf, so they already know sign language.
Yeah, I mean, that is very beneficial to be able to communicate with each other without actually having to speak. So anyway, as I was saying, they birth this child, and then the rest of the movie is just the dad
They
trying.
Yeah,
they birthed the child.
I was just waiting for Brianna to roll your ass.
Emily Blunt's character bursts the child as John Krasinski's trying to get to her. They're able to get her and the child into this like soundproof bunker, and then the husband goes off to try and find the other kids. And what they don't realize somehow is that little basement area, the underground soundproof bunker, is flooding with water because a pipe burst. So there's like two like time elements going on here. You got to have the dad trying to find the kids who are like being hunted by these aliens, and the wife wakes up to the bunker like half full of fucking water, and there's an alien in the bunker with her. And
her newborn son, who could scream and cry at any moment.
Well, they put a little oxygen mask, a little baby oxygen mask, and they put him down in this box, and just close the door on him. It's pretty funny.
The kid's gonna be a fucking psychopath, guaranteed.
Yeah, if he survives, we'll see. So the kids are like trying to get out of this corn silo, which they fell into, and the dad goes and finds them, and he ends up able to track them down.
Imagine getting killed by fucking corn, bro.
It happens. I was reading a thing, like, it's like actually a super popular way to die. I say popular. It happens a lot. It's a very common way to die for like farmers and stuff like that. Corn like that just fucking suffocates you dead. So after the dad finds them, they're trying to get back to the house, and they have this truck set up. It's on a hill. Basically, you just got to pull the e-brake, and it'll guide you back down to the fucking house. So they're trying to get to that. But there's an alien in the way, and the dad has to sacrifice himself for the kids.
Did he?
Yeah, kinda, because that alien was about to can opener the fucking truck open and eat them. You know
Did he, though?
So he sacrifices himself, the kids end up getting back home, and once they're back home, the mom is able to get down to the basement with them, and they realize, which you kind of have these hints throughout the entire movie, that what's the girl's name? I don't know her name. The daughter. Because I guess
I believe it is Reagan.
I guess you don't really get. Nobody says their names.
Reagan.
Yeah.
Her name's Reagan.
Reagan.
Yeah, Reagan.
Reagan.
It's Regan.
I think it's still pronounced Reagan.
We're gonna go with Reagan.
Anyway, so they realize that her cochlear implant reacts for some reason with these echolocation inside the monster's heads, and so it kind of makes them spaz out. And when it spazzes them out, you can like shoot them in the face, and it will kill them. Because before they had like bulletproof armor, but with this combination, you're able to kill them. So they fucking cap one of them, and presumably the other two start running up as well. And the movie ends as she like cocks the fucking shotgun to do the other two in. And that's it. That's the plot.
She pumps the shotgun?
Sure.
That shit was triggering the fuck out of me. Tell him, Brianna.
This is true.
What about it?
She shot the bitch. I was like, fucking pump it!
She had to wait for the right.
But they had to wait. They had to wait till the end for the shot.
Yeah, because you had to get the and then the black cut. You know, it's awesome.
You would have. Hey, if those motherfuckers, they're like, I don't know. If they stood up, they're like probably 15 foot tall with like.
No, they're probably like 9 or 10.
Okay. They're huge as fuck with fucking swords as legs. I pumped that motherfucker so fast.
Yeah, they're like a cross between like a spider, a crab and a demigorgon from Stranger
Sure.
Things.
Very accurate.
But okay, so do you want to talk about plot holes? Because this movie is riddled with them. Like, a lot.
I guess we can just start with quietest baby ever spawned, ever hatched.
Yeah, I think one of the biggest things I have an issue with is why have a baby in the first place. And I get this whole that's what the movie's about. It's about family and continuing.
I'm thinking it was an accidente, bro.
Well, I also read a thing where John Krasinski was talking about like there's lines in this movie late in the movie that the wife asked the husband, if we can't protect our kids, who are we? And that's supposed to be like the theme line is like they are just trying to continue to have a family despite being hunted by aliens the entire time. So I guess that's why they have a kid. Also, maybe to fill that void of having one of the kids capped.
I think it was an accidental. You can say whatever you want, but
Wasn't she already pregnant in the first scene?
No, because it was like a year later.
Oh,
it was a delayed hatch.
No, because she's actually early. Remember, there's a calendar that shows her due date, and she has the baby like 2 weeks before the due date.
It was a delayed hatch.
So that's because it starts with like day 37 or something, and then it jumps to like 400 and something.
3-month delayed hatch. I don't think that's not real, is it? What's the longest anyone's ever took to hatch?
That is an internet question, not for me.
Yeah, the babe. It sometimes the condom. I mean, all the condoms are looted for sure. So
how? Wait. My next question though is, how did they have intercourse to have a baby?
He's not that big. He doesn't make her scream.
Well, I mean, I'm talking more of like, shit's gonna move. Like, no,
what?
I mean,
they went behind the waterfall.
Okay, but then you have to leave the kids at home alone.
Oh, yeah, true.
And these kids seem, I'm plenty capable. Maybe that is the case. They went to the waterfall because, he knows that you can be as loud as you fucking want behind the waterfall and not die. Maybe they were testing it out.
It was that slow motion shit, bro. That's not the biggest plot hole I've ever seen.
No, that's I don't even have that written down for plot holes. I'm just curious as to what that would be like.
Doug, I have your answer for the longest pregnancy ever.
Oh, fuck.
375 days.
Over a year?
Oh my god.
100 days late.
That's cap.
Supposedly, she's 95 days over past due.
Dude, cut it out. Like, at a certain point, is cut it out.
Yeah.
Anyway, that's beside the point.
What?
What?
Just cut it out.
Yeah, have you ever heard of a C-section, Doug?
You're 100 days late? Hell yeah.
Oh, you mean like IRL?
Yes.
I thought you meant like if it was.
Not in the movie. I would not try to perform surgery. As I was saying, I think another big plot hole is everything is too loud. Like, starting from the beginning, her sliding to catch the rocket is extremely quiet from what it actually would be. And then just throughout the entire movie, these little things they're so quiet when they wouldn't be that quiet.
She's light on her toes, bro.
But she slides on her legs on tile.
She's light on her legs, bro.
And then like running like to the truck through the grass, or like walking through the grass to the truck, like that shit's loud. Like we see earlier, raccoons like walking in the grass get capped.
Rest in peace, Cornelius.
Another one I have a big issue with is how did John Krasinski not see the fucking water whenever he leaves the bunker, or hear the water? Because when he comes out of the bunker, the pipe is busted already and it's overflowing. And
I mean, for that, I think your adrenaline is running, and like at that point, he's trying to find his kids. Like he knows, well, he thinks he knows that his wife and new baby are like safe down there. So I don't think he's really paying attention to the other stuff, and he's just like I mean, this could be it. I don't know. I'm not John Krasinski, so I can't actually answer this, but I feel like your adrenaline would be running that you wouldn't notice that. I mean, you could. It's possible that you would not notice that when you're focused on something else.
He's so vigilant the entire movie, observing everything that happens. I find it hard to believe that he would hop out and not hear the water, and because it's so quiet. Like that's the whole point. Everything's quiet. The water is loud. Like I just feel like you'd hop out, you'd hear the water, and be like, "What the fuck is that?"
Yeah.
But it doesn't even register to him, and he runs away, and his wife ends up getting in a half water filled bunker, which is also that's not as big as a plot hole. That's not even a plot hole to me. She could just be conked the fuck out after giving birth, but it takes her a long ass time to wake up with water pouring into this room.
Yeah, true.
Yeah, bro, she delivered a baby without medicine. And
I know that's what I'm saying.
like-
She could just be like out. Also, though,
yeah,
like,
she's out. She's out.
but like people give birth without medicine all the time. I don't know what her birthing experience was, but I don't know.
In a
Shoot
bathtub.
this baby out my coot really fast before I get killed by this fucking monster.
It's exhausting, I feel like. Like,
Sure.
I feel like she sucked it in for so long that when she went to hatch the motherfucker, it just yeeted across the bathtub.
Did she birth it in the tub or the shower?
I think so. No, I'm pretty sure it's the tub.
I'm pretty sure it was a tub and then she had to move into the shower.
Oh,
Yeah.
that's one of my biggest pet peeves of this movie is why the fuck does she slap the shower door? Like whenever he's trying to find her.
She's trying to tell him that. Well, because I think she like can see he's distraught that he thinks that they're dead because he just sees blood, and so she's trying to be like,
Or they
I'm
really,
So
they really
loud.
did it for a cringe jump scare.
I mean, that is the reason why in the movie, but it's so loud that seems like that's the last thing she would do. Like they're all so careful, and after you birth this baby, you're gonna slap the shower door to get his attention.
I think she just meant to like thump it, but she just hatched this motherfucker. So
I'll give her a lot of passes for just giving birth. That's
after
something I will never something I'll never experience. So you tell me that's the reason, I'll believe you. But it was like I was like, what the fuck are you doing? Why are you slapping the door? Yeah, I mean,
I bet having the baby didn't even hurt because her foot was hurting so bad.
yeah. That's the key now. Whenever you go to give birth, they drive a nail through the bottom of your foot, and you don't even feel the baby. It just slides on out.
I would say this:
Brianna's gonna
Step-
fucking hit me, bro.
stepping on a nail does suck ass.
I don't know if it sucks ass
it's
more
not,
than giving
it's
birth.
It's not more painful than giving birth, guys.
I can't confirm.
Probably not, yeah.
Have you stepped on a nail?
I've stepped on a nail. It hurts really bad. I have not birthed
Yeah.
a child.
True.
Brianna's done neither.
Okay, I guarantee you though, if like two people, women, go to the ER and one stepped on the nail and one is like about to give birth or in the process of giving birth, we know who they're gonna attend to first.
Well, yeah, of course. Obviously, the person
Pain is
with the nail in the foot.
It's literally like on a pain. I didn't hear what you said, but on a pain scale, I hear it's like 9 or a 10.
Yeah,
I've experienced
and
a 10
also-
before.
and also, giving birth can kill a woman. So
Tetanus.
Pretty
Ever heard of
Stepping a nail
tetanus?
can kill a woman too, bro.
Anyway.
You know
last
what?
Dude,
thing-
we are so off the fucking rails. Can we get it together?
It doesn't. It's fine, Doug. It's
there's
fine.
no
Let it
rails
flow.
here, Doug.
Yeah, let it flow.
It's a podcast. We can go anywhere.
Let it
So-
flow like that baby must have yeeted straight out of her hoo-ha.
My last problem.
up.
My last
Your
problem
last problem.
is It
Dun-dun-dun.
it took Reagan so long to realize that her hearing aid was reacting to the aliens, like the
Mhm.
entire movie. And I don't buy it. She's one of the most resourceful characters. She's very intelligent, obviously, throughout this entire movie. but she doesn't realize that every time an alien's around, her implant is going nuts until literally the end. I just feel like she would have realized that way sooner.
Yeah.
I don't know. I would disagree with that. I mean, like, I don't think it's the biggest plot hole ever. Meaning that's what I disagree with.
So
I
I
think-
guess let's just tie this into the plausibility. So there's definitely parts of this movie that most all of us think aren't plausible.
Sure.
Yeah. There's,
Yeah,
the one
maybe.
big for me is aliens.
I mean, like, going back to what Aaron said real quick for the, I guess, I don't know if that falls under plausibility, but I'm just going to say it. Like, I kind of understand what you're saying because we can see everything. Like, we see the implant, like, acting up when the alien's around and stuff, but, like, we're only seeing parts. Like, we don't know how often her implant actually, like, messes up, especially because her dad's been
True.
trying to, like, do stuff to it. So, like, we're obviously, like, as a viewer, we're seeing it when the alien is right there, but, like, we don't know the history of, like, how it's been acting up. You know what I'm saying?
It hasn't been acting up. He just fixed
True.
it.
That you saw, you hasn't been acting up that you saw. You've
Fair
never
point.
you've never been
She has a
dead
good
and had
point.
an implant before, so you don't know that. You're just going off of what you saw in the movie.
I feel
I
like
mean,
I feel like it was implied in the movie that whatever he did to her implant made it start doing that when the aliens were nearby.
I don't know if it was that because I don't know if we don't know if she's encountered an alien before this part of the movie. But she does definitely say that like it won't work. She is well aware that these hearing aids are not hearing aids. These cochlear implants are not working. So maybe they do this. I think that's a fair point.
Huh?
I think it's a fair point that like we don't see if this is a common thing. Like we don't know. We're not around that are 24/7.
All right.
But if that is the case, if that is the case, I would like to see that. I would like to see it act up not around an alien. That way we know that. 'Cause
Yeah.
I don't you should have to guess in movies.
Yeah.
All
Yeah.
right, so hey, I think we can all agree that the premise of this movie was pretty cool. To be honest, does anybody disagree with that?
No, it spawned like a whole subgenre of like taking your senses away. Like Bird
Yeah.
Box is just a copycat of this, just with a different sense. And there's like it spawned the whole thing of like with Don't Breathe as well. It's like a deaf guy,
Blind guy.
a blind guy, sorry, and you have to be like super quiet. The thing it all spawned though, I think, from this movie. So that doesn't really happen unless you have an interesting premise.
Don't Breathe is one of the worst fucking movies I've ever seen. Anyways, all right, I think this movie was pretty entertaining to me.
Yeah.
Literally, like 5 different times, Douglas, you were like, "This movie's boring."
When full disclosure, this is like my 5th or 6th time watching this movie, and it loses an edge after a certain number of times. Like
Yeah, I
once
feel
you
like
know,
movies gonna do that though.
not every movie, because like this movie depends a lot on you don't know which sounds are loud enough to attract the aliens.
Yeah, sure.
Like knocking the lamp over. When I first saw this in theaters, I was shitting bricks when they knocked the lamp over. I know now that the aliens don't come when that happens, so I wasn't nervous at all. I know that the aliens don't come at a whole bunch of different parts. So, in theater, first time watching this, I think it was one of the most suspenseful movies and tense experiences I've ever had. Like, I was so tight the entire movie. It was crazy. I mean, it was like I said, one of the craziest experiences watching a movie. 5 times in, I'm kind of bored.
I agree with Aaron, except for the second time in, I was like, Jesus Christ, the first half of this movie sucks ass. I'm so fucking bored. But I was trying to be nice in my entertainment value, review. Because Aaron is right. The first time you watch it, it's way less boring, if that
Yeah.
makes sense.
I think
Yeah.
the first time is a really good viewing experience. It's like a murder mystery. Once you know who the killer is, it kind of loses a little bit.
True, yeah.
Were you entertained, Jacob?
Yes, I was.
Did it really tickle your nuts?
Like Aaron said, the first time, yeah, it did. But like, after watching it a few times, it's less tickly to the nuts.
Brianna?
I was entertained.
When I saw this in theaters, there was a lady sitting next to me, and we were both like, they're in like the tense parts. We would like look over each other and be like, "Fuck this! Like, this is too much." She was like curled up into a ball in her fucking seat. She was like freaking.
Did we go
out.
see this together?
No.
No, we saw the second one together.
No.
The
Sweet
first
invite.
one I just remember it was intense.
All right, fellas. So the themes of this movie are
Family.
be fucking quiet.
No, I mean,
This is
I think
fucking-
I think family,
That's about it.
parenthood, even.
Forgiveness.
Yes, that's a big one,
Wow.
actually.
Nice.
Because
Is
the
it
entire
forgiveness
time,
or is it just like
Yeah.
unconditional love? Like,
that's it.
A
Oh,
little
yeah,
bit of
true.
both. A little bit of both, because like Reagan feels like her dad blames her for what happened to the
It's-
little brother.
It's Regan.
For Bo, yeah.
And so, like, and I honestly, like, I don't know, from some of the shots, I feel like he does a little bit, like, not like
Well-
in a bad guy kind of way, but like, you can kind of see it in his face when the son's talking to him. So, like, he kind of needs to forgive. And then she also, like, needs to forgive herself or, like, let herself off the hook. So maybe
we
not
all
forgiveness.
should-
I don't know.
We should probably mention, I guess, what happened. I think I skipped over it when I was doing the
Yes.
plot. Essentially, this rocket ship, the space shuttle, that gets this kid killed, they took it away from him in the store because it was obviously a loud toy, and Reagan gives it back to her, or to him, the little boy, and doesn't
Reagan?
realize that he also snagged the batteries from it. And so whenever they get to the bridge, he turns the toy on and it makes noise. It gets him killed. It's actually a really good shot because this movie has perceptive sound. So basically, you hear the things based on the character you're looking at. So when the rocket ship starts making sound, you're looking at John Krasinski and you see his face. It then cuts to Reagan, who is deaf, can't hear it, and so it's completely silent. But you just see her face as she sees her parents turn around, and they're obviously like, "Oh fuck!" And then John tries to run and get it from him, but he can't get there in time, and the alien fucking whacks him.
But also,
Yep.
why are they okay with him walking so far behind them?
Yeah, that's another plot hole.
Well,
Shouldn't
that's
make
what
any sense.
Like,
the
I don't
wife
like
regrets
that.
it later.
Like, he should have been walking. Like, I know she says that thing about like carrying him. I'm not even saying carrying him, but like he needs to be like in the middle or something, where like they
Yeah,
can see
I
it.
do
Just,
think
just
they are-
simply because of his age, like whether he had the toy or not. Like, because I mean, like they're living in a crazy time with alien and like crazy people. Like, who's not even an alien, but who's to stop somebody from running and grabbing him? And he's not gonna be able to make a noise, and then they wouldn't know because they're not paying
Well,
attention.
now we're getting fucking crazy.
I'm just
Yeah, like-
saying.
I do think that they are pretty loose with their children for living where there's aliens around, because like
Why
they
they
let the kids go off and just run around, do their thing, and like fuck that. No way. I wouldn't let my
Why'd they
kid do
bring the
that.
whole family
now.
to fucking Kroger, bro?
That's like you don't want to leave them at home, I guess.
Fucking
You don't leave them at home alone.
leave the mom and the kids at home and go John and the older girl.
Maybe it's just like a trip. Like you go and like find supplies, and it's a family thing. I don't know, family bonding time.
Family death.
Also, as soon as that thing started going off, that kid should have thrown it as far as possible. and
Oh, he
ran the
doesn't
other
know.
direction. That it's going off.
He doesn't. I guess like he's young. He probably doesn't fully understand. He's probably never seen somebody like get waxed.
He
based
doesn't
off
know he's about
sound.
to get
That's
fucking
true.
one shot.
which he does.
True.
They cut. I do
Probably got
respect
like
this movie
sliced
because
in half, bro.
they show you it up until the last possible second.
Yeah.
It's sad.
Also, the
It's
dumbass
really sad.
fucking space shuttle toy is the first sound in the whole fucking movie.
It's loud too. Like when it happens, it's fucking loud.
It's literally dead
I-
silent for the first 15 minutes of the movie, and then it's like wee woo, wee woo, wee woo.
That's the
Very
point.
accurate, Doug.
I'd say the main theme though is like family and, like you said, unconditional love.
Yeah, and how important every family member is to the family as a whole.
Oh, the little boy obviously wasn't very important. They were letting him walk in back. All right, we're just gonna roll that into, were these themes of family intriguing? I thought they were.
As
There's not really much I have
as
to add to that.
as somebody who doesn't have children, I can only assume this is what parenthood would be like in this situation.
Aaron's
Like,
dead on the inside, by the way, people. So
I can't really I don't know how I would react to having a child in this world. So I do think that they are a little loosey goosey with them. If they care as much as they seem to care about their kids, they let them kind of do their thing a little bit too much. Letting like the wife says she could have carried him. Like, yeah, I probably would be carrying my kid around, especially like a 4-year-old.
well, let me ask you this, Aaron. Did you think that the theme was intriguing?
That's what I was getting to. Yes, I do, but on a different. It's not like I didn't feel like a
You weren't intrigued?
family feeling. It was just intriguing in like how the perception
You didn't
was.
form an emotional connection?
I mean, it was sad, but not really.
Hey, Jacob, were you intrigued by the themes, bro?
Yeah, I don't know.
Did you just pause or did you cut out?
No, I paused.
He stroked.
Oh,
I'm
I was
pondering.
like,
I'm pondering
thought
my
I just-
answer.
I thought I just had a stroke because I'm like feeling weird. So I was like, oh my goodness.
Brianna, you like the family themes?
I do.
Is that for you? It's Brianna.
I mean, like, it's not in your face family theme.
Brianna
like,
likes
it's
that.
not, It's
Brianna
not
likes
like that. It didn't make me cry at the end like Encanto did.
Oh fuck.
But that's about family too. I'm just saying.
Encanto
But-
and A Quiet Place, the same movie? Question mark.
No, they're not the same movie.
Pretty close.
You don't gotta be quiet in that movie.
They're all dead.
No, I mean I think they all did a really good job. Like I felt like I could feel like I don't know, I feel like I could feel the connection between the characters. Like the dad and the dad and the son. Like I don't know.
Yeah,
You can
Yeah,
cut that,
I
I
get
guess.
that.
It's making a face.
But were you intrigued by the
Yes, I was intrigued. That's what I
Jacob,
just said.
Were you intrigued?
It was
He just wants a yes or no.
not really. No.
no. Well, and what wasn't doing it for you, bro? Did it just not hit home?
Not
were you
really.
just
I
like,
just,
fuck these motherfuckers. I don't give a fuck about,
honestly, I just wanted to see more killing. It would've been,
Hell yeah.
like it's a horror movie. Like, yeah, it does a
yeah.
really good job on making like the premise of like you gotta stay quiet and stuff, but you gotta protect your family and stuff. But like, give me more death. I want more.
I'm in the
more,
opposite spectrum. I think the family themes are what make this movie believable. Like, with all the like quiet stuff, this movie could be very annoying to watch. But I think the family themes kind of like tie it together. Not that I love them, because I don't love family themes. They don't connect with me very much. But I do think that they are super important to this specific film. And spoiler, I'm sure we are going to cover part 2. I think that's what I don't like about part 2 is it doesn't have that strong of these themes.
All right. What do we think about the characters?
Well, number one, I think John did a really good job, like casting and like keeping the characters like small. Like, well, not small. They're not small characters, but I don't know if you know what I'm trying to say. There's not like a bunch of characters we have to keep up with, if that makes sense. It's like
Yeah.
when
The
you, I
cast
mean,
is very small.
the cast is small. Yes, thank you. So, I'm not having to be like, wait, who's that person? Who's that person? How are they like, you know what I'm saying? Because like sometimes when movies have a bunch of casts, it's really hard to keep up with. But I think they kept the characters like kind of good and to the point. I like how, yeah, I like whoever played Reagan. I actually like that they like that in her real life that she is deaf and has like the cochlear implants and stuff. They didn't just like grab somebody and is like, hey, play a deaf person. Like, I feel like I'm kind of going on a soapbox here, and Doug's probably going to roll his eyes at me, but I feel like if you're going to represent like characters like that, it's like really important to have people who it's like true to, if that makes sense.
Yeah, it's kind of like how Steven Spielberg directed Schindler's List, you know? Like they could have just got anybody to direct Schindler's List, but they got Steven Spielberg, you know what I'm saying?
No.
Guys?
No.
I also don't know. Sorry, I was hoping they would say yes, and I was just gonna be like, yeah.
Is he Jewish? Is that what you're saying?
Yes.
Oh yeah, okay,
Didn't he
yeah.
direct Jaws?
So I think a really cool part about what
Anyways.
Brianna was saying. Sorry to cut you off, Brianna.
No. You go ahead, Brent. No, go ahead, Aaron.
I read that she was the one that taught them their sign language,
Mhm.
and that she helped them develop their own styles. And if people that know sign language have examined this movie, and they say that they each have their own like way of getting sign language across. Like the dad apparently is super short and like survivalist sign language, like it's all point to the point. And the mom's sign language is apparently very like loose and flowy. And apparently on set she was the one that helped them develop this, and they were super attentive to figure out how they can convey their characters through sign language because there's not a lot of dialogue. So they
Mhm.
needed this to do it, and having somebody who actually has that disability, I think really helped formulate that. And I think that's one of the coolest part about these characters is that like they feel the real. Like these feel like real people.
Yeah, and
I
like
think
they kind of I also like going back to like the family, like they sibling wise, I mean like mainly in the movie we only have two siblings cuz the youngest one gets kind of killed in the beginning, but I feel like Marcus, the younger brother, not the youngest, but the younger brother, I mean rightfully so, just like scared the whole movie, but I feel like he does a really good job portraying that, but just like he wants to help but also he's like terrified. And I kind
Yeah.
of get that too. And then I mean, I like how John and Emily are like actually married in real life and they're playing like a married couple. So I like that too. But basically,
they
I'm
have
just
such
saying,
good
like, I
chemistry.
like, yes, yes. Um, I think it was really smart of them to keep it, the cast short so we could really like focus and like, this is going to sound weird to say, but like develop a like relationship with the characters or
Yeah.
whatever. So that's my input on the characters. Anybody else can go.
I don't think
It's
anyone needs to go. Really, it was fucking
I
spot on.
do.
I'm going to go ahead and go before
Sure.
Aaron goes. So, the characters were just, pretty good, to be honest. All right, Aaron, let it rip.
It's important that they're good because of how this, as crazy as this premise is, it's insanely character driven. Like this movie is like a character driven movie, and if you have weak built characters, it's gonna fall apart. So just to add on what Brianna said, you have to have these characters that are strong and have their own
So,
like
sorry,
agencies.
sorry. So I just want to, add to my point now that you started. That I like that all the characters actually have like a purpose.
Yeah,
So-
agency.
so,
Exactly.
like,
They have their own individual things going on.
So Lee's purpose is, if you didn't know, John Krasinski is Lee. It's not really said in the movie. He's like the protector, and then Emily Blunt is like the baby haver.
The nurse. I would say
we're gonna shut that down. Go ahead and cut that, and we're gonna move on. I
I
don't
would
like
say
that.
her. I would say her is she's the nurturer. Like a big part of her is she does the teaching, she does like the cooking. I believe she's some kind of nurse background wise because she knows a lot about giving birth, and not like they have the internet right now. So I feel like she has some kind of nurse background,
Or
especially in
she had three before the one that she's about to have.
The
well she knows how to like check the heartbeat of the baby with the stethoscope. She knows how to track different cycles of her pregnancy. In the second one, she knows the oxygen tanks and stuff like that. She even like helps patch up the wound from the bear trap. I feel like she has some kind of experience. I don't know what she did before, but I just think her character is like the nurturing one. Because you have like your standard protective dad and then your standard nurturing mother.
yeah, and then Reagan is Reagan is like she's like upset and she has the guilt and she wants her dad to love her, and then Noah's like a little bitch that finally mans up and does something, and then
Noah.
sorry, Noah Jupe's character Marcus.
Oh,
Marcus.
And then you got the little one whose purpose was to get waxed in the beginning of the movie.
Yeah, to clarify what Doug said in actual terms here, the daughter Reagan, I think her whole thing is she feels extreme responsibility as the oldest child to protect her siblings and also help her parents, and then the son being younger, I think clings on to the mother a lot more, and it's not like he's a mama's boy or whatever, but he doesn't fully grasp that Lee, the dad, is trying to put him through these situations to teach him things whenever he doesn't really want to do that. So they all have their individual like purposes within the movie that interleak with each other. I don't think he's just a little bitch. That's what I'm trying to say. He is.
I don't either.
All right, I guess Jacob, you have anything you want to throw in before I
No,
lay down the law
no.
about the fact that Reagan is the super villain of this movie? Fucking gets everybody, almost gets her brother killed, gets her dad killed, fucking throws everything, almost gets her mom killed. Anybody have a disagreement about this?
Yeah, I don't think any of it was her fault. She didn't know she didn't know that he was going to swipe the batteries.
I'm getting sick of
That's
it.
not her
Whatever I
fault.
say, Aaron just
That's
says
the whole point of the-
opposite of what I say.
That's the whole point of the dad forgiving her is everybody knows that's not her fault, but she still feels that guilt. And I'm interested to know how she got the dad killed.
Was there another character I don't know about that gave him back the spaceship?
Okay,
Yeah,
but
she gave him the spaceship, not the batteries. He took the batteries.
She fucking threw it.
Okay, so here's Doug's thing.
Okay, then
Makes me mad.
Then she's all emotional and she fucking throws everything by leaving and going to play patty cake. Meanwhile, everything is fucked.
Going to play patty cake?
Yes.
She regrets giving him the toy. I think, in hindsight is 2020. Obviously, if she would have known he was going to take the batteries, she probably would have given him the toy and then swiped the batteries and kept them in her pocket so that he wouldn't do that. So it was an accident. Accidents happen. And if she would have known, I think if she would have known that he was going to take the batteries, obviously she wouldn't have done that. And then I think the other thing that you're talking about, she was upset because she wanted to go, like, I think with them or somewhere, or I don't know. She wanted to go with Lee.
Well, because she thinks that the only reason she's not taking him is because he doesn't love her.
Or he
so
doesn't
that
trust
upsets
her.
her. Yeah.
I don't think it's more love. I think it's more trust. But so then she gets upset and she goes to the grave because she's feeling down. And again, it's like, how is she supposed to know that the aliens are gonna get in the house. Like,
And the mom is going to give birth 2 weeks early.
also if they're supposed to be playing like the characters that are their age, like she would have been like 13 or 14 in this movie.
Yeah, you can't expect a 14-year-old girl who's going through all that to just put her emotional trauma aside forever. That's part of this movie is they play them as humans, and that's gonna like you're gonna feel that guilt.
I'm not going to debate you guys. You never agree with me. I'm just going to make my point known that
I don't think you
she
want us to
fucking
agree with you.
she tossed this one, boys. She ran it down.
Okay, let's go to performance.
All right, fellas. We're going to cover the actor's performance. And I think that Millicent Simmons did a really good job of performing her character who, got everybody almost killed and some people killed. So I think she did a great job. Everybody just really did a great job acting in this. Actually, the child actors weren't that good, but they were good for child actors, so I guess that makes them good. Question mark?
Yeah, I mean, like you're talking about like Noah.
Like everyone besides John and Emily.
I think Millicent is great in this.
Yeah.
A
I
lot of
think
this has to be
Noah-
done with like
I
facial
think Noah
stuff.
is
Yeah,
great
they're-
too.
I do think
They all
Noah's
did-
good, and like I don't think any of them are bad. Noah, I think, is still a child in this whenever this is filmed, so it's like, he does great. And then Millicent is also, I think Millicent's maybe one of the better performers of this movie. Like she has to do so much acting that isn't just talking, and that's not normal for
Yeah.
like actors to have to do.
Yeah, it's nothing special, bro.
I kind of think it is. I kind of think this movie does a really good job of having of conveying emotion through characters in setting up in a way that you
In a
can't just
nonverbal
tell
way.
us. Yeah, that's
Yeah.
hard.
I was literally gonna say the same thing.
It's hard. It's hard to do something. It's hard to show your emotion whenever you can't express your emotion in a way that normal people every day are able to. So, like, whenever the actors do it, I always think it's really crazy that they are able to like get these feelings across to us without telling us the feelings.
Yeah.
But you are right. That is just my opinion. If it's not for you, it's not for you.
How'd you feel about that acting, Jacob?
I was gonna say the same thing Aaron said. Basically, like I thoroughly enjoyed all the acting due to the fact that they could convey so much, like emotion and just like drama just through not talking, and it was done very well for all the characters.
All right, anybody else have any comment on the acting?
I enjoyed the acting and the performance by all the characters.
All right. Dialogue, we can just skip this shit. Pretty much the only talking in the movie is him explaining to the son that you can fucking scream if you're next to a waterfall, and then
Oh well, are we gonna include sign language and dialogue? I think
Yeah.
it's kind of you have to.
Yeah.
And when we find out
And-
from the dialogue, like, you can't make a sound in the very beginning.
I think sign language has to be included in the dialogue.
Yes, it is.
Why are you huffing?
So basically, the sign language is just them saying what they were gonna say if they wouldn't get killed by the aliens if they said it. So, pretty much like John does the sign language like, no, you can't have this fucking toy. It's too loud. And then she gives it to him anyways. So there's a lot of dialogue in the story that shows that she's the villain of the story. And they do a good job communicating that. Anybody else have any comments about the dialogue?
That's your opinion.
I do think
At least your opinion.
I do think it's I'm gonna put this in the same vein as the acting. It's hard to have dialogue that isn't dialogue. So I think they do a good job of still having some type of storytelling via dialogue when they can't actually talk. So that's all I'm gonna say. I was impressed with how much they're able to get across in a movie that has minimal lines.
I would agree. I think they do they do a good job of conveying things with their emotions, their like body language, the sign language. I think he did a good job of proving that like you can have a plot and everything without there having to be a bunch of talking.
Good thing about this movie is, the only dialogue they need for the whole fucking movie is pretty much the scene where he tells him he can't have the fucking spaceship because it's too loud, and then after he gets fucking waxed by the monster after the spaceship turns on, it's like, oh shit. Hey, we don't need to know anything for the rest of the movie. So there's pretty much they just had to have enough dialogue to convey shut the fuck up or you are gonna get waxed. So I don't think we really need to talk about the context of the dialogue. I mean,
I disagree again. The context of the dialogue is they can't fucking say words, so they have to use sign language.
that's not how the context of the dialogue is described in the article by MG.
How would you? How is it described?
It's just like, is the dialogue like
Doesn't make
is it relevant to like
the time period.
the time
Well,
period? And
the time period is aliens have come down, and if you say a word, you get waxed. So
All
they
I'm trying-
can't.
all I'm trying to say is the context. We don't really need to talk about it. It's fine. The dialogue it makes sense in the context of the story. I wasn't trying to talk shit about the dialogue.
I think it's something to say because I think it's interesting.
You know
that
what?
They can't say words.
I'm gonna start the timer for 30 minutes right now, and you're gonna talk about the dialogue. Go.
I only need 30 seconds. I'm just going to say it's interesting that there's a movie that can't say actual words, so they have to come up with a different way. And sign language is cool, and it's cool that they use it. That's all I want to say.
You know what I think? I'm thinking these motherfuckers were like, we don't really know how to write a story, so we're gonna use the plot to make it to where we don't have to write a story.
I don't think so.
All right, we're gonna roll right into cinematography. The visual language. The shots were good in the movie. I didn't think they were like freaky or anything, but I feel like they were above average.
There's some cool shots, especially the bridge in the beginning is a cool shot. Like the parents head on and stuff. That's all fun.
The scrolling shot going down the stairs triggers the fuck out of me on the 15th time they walk down the goddamn stairs. What do you think about the camera work, Chief? Jacob?
I like that. I like a bunch of the shots. Like they said, the bridge scene was really good in the beginning.
I'm just gonna go ahead and say the shot I like is the one of just her head when she's hatching the baby in the tub. I don't know why. What kind of shots were you liking, Chief?
When they're in the corn. I like those shots. I mean,
in the cornfield or like in the silo?
The thing. Yeah, the silo thing. I feel like all the shots really flowed well. Like the camera work wasn't shaky or anything, and I don't know. Like it's not. I'm not like. I'm gonna say this. I'm impressed. I'm not like blown away. Like, whoa, these shots are crazy. But I mean, they're good. I didn't hate them, and like it kept the movie moving along. So
yeah. So lighting, setting, wardrobe.
we're not gonna wait on Aaron.
Do not interrupt me. Keep the podcast flowing.
Go ahead. Sorry. Go ahead.
What did you think about the lighting, setting, and wardrobe, Princess?
I really like the lighting. Like in particular, I like how like when she switches the like outside lights to red, that's like signaling that like danger, and like
Shit's
everyone
going down.
like everyone like when the boys walk up and they see it, they're like, oh shit. And then when the girl walks up and see it, she sees it, she's like, oh shit. Like you can just tell with their emotions and stuff in their face that they're like, she's like, that's going off in their head. So I really like the lighting. It's crazy because when we think, I know this isn't, well, I guess it's considered a horror movie. I don't know. When we think like horror movies and like jump scares, we're thinking that like it happens in dark settings, you know? But I mean, like in the beginning when the son gets snatched, like that's in the daytime and it was still like with the sounds and everything kind of scary. Like, oh man, you know what I'm saying? Or like, I mean, it is kind of dark when they're playing that board game and that lamp knocks over, but like I feel like they don't have to, like the lighting's really good, but they don't have to use the lighting necessarily to like invoke a jump scare, if that makes sense.
Yeah, I like the red lights as well. Jacob, you like the lighting, the setting,
Yeah.
wardrobe?
Yeah, I like the wardrobe was very like, I guess, from character to character, it was very like tactical for like Lee's character and stuff, but very kind of like chill and relaxed for the mom. But all the clothing was very like loose, like no like polyester kind of stuff to where it was gonna make noise if you rubbed it together. It was all like very cotton and like that's what I'm looking for, like kind of warm looking. You know what I'm saying?
Yes.
And
Yeah.
also like the lighting was like I did like the red lights for like the danger shit, and also like just lighting in general was very like soft and like somber, but also kind of like there's a lot of dark corners in like all the shots and stuff to I guess convey that there's a from like this on the outside of this there's a bunch of darker energy that's around them.
All right, moving on to editing. How do we feel about the pace and the tone of this motherfucker? I'll start this one off. The pacing at the beginning of the movie, the first time was fine. The second time gave me giga brain damage. It was so fucking slow. The tone overall, I like it. It's like a nice suspenseful, situation. Brianna, what do you think?
Yeah, I would agree. Like it felt really fast the first time I watched it, but like the second and third, like you can definitely tell it's a little bit slower in the beginning. But I mean, it's kind of building the suspense, so like I don't completely hate it. I'm not the type that needs like action and things happening 24/7. And then the tone, oh yeah, I think they did. I think they stayed true. Like the tone stayed true to what they said this movie was going to be, which was like suspenseful kind of horror. Like they really, I think we've already talked about this, but they really counted on the sounds to like use the jump scares. Not even like the monsters jumping out. It's mainly like when the lamp knocks over, you're like, oh my gosh, they're coming, or any little sound. So it kind of keeps the tone suspenseful.
Aaron, how'd you feel about the pace and tone?
I think the pace, especially in the beginning, is kind of slow. Knowing what happens, like not knowing what happened, I was pretty tense the whole time. The cold open is pretty good. I think that scene where the kid gets killed, pretty good. But after that, it takes a little bit to build back up to. I mean, it's only an hour 30 long, so it's not like super long. But I was kind of looking for the aliens. Like, I need the aliens to kind of pump this movie up in action. So when they're not there for like, I don't know, an hour or so, 45 minutes, it gets kind of boring. Tone wise, though, I think the tone's pretty good. Like, it stays pretty true to itself. It's suspenseful, and it's also kind of a family drama the entire time.
How'd you feel about the effects in this movie, Aaron?
The CGI, actually, looking back at it, there are definitely some rough parts. I was kind of not expecting them looking at it now, because when I first watched it, I didn't really notice them. But I do see a little bit that jumped out to me whenever I was watching it this time, and I was like, that looks okay. I mean, they don't look bad, but there's definitely some kind of weird stuff. Specifically with the aliens. That's pretty much the only part that is CGI.
I didn't see any problems with the alien CGI. Maybe I fucking wasn't watching on. I don't know if Aaron was watching on Blu-ray or some shit.
I was on Blu-ray.
So
I also
it's
didn't see any problems with the alien CGI, but I don't
confined
know.
by the streaming
Maybe it's just Blu-ray.
resolution.
I don't know. Because it wasn't bad. I'm not saying that, but there were definitely some points where I was like, that looks a little weird.
Jacob, how do you feel about the
Well,
effects, bro?
So the effects. Sorry for the technical difficulties, ladies and gentlemen. The effects. I like the practical effects they use with the family, like the sand and all that kind of stuff. But the visual effects with the aliens, I thought was really good. I really like the look of them. It was very different from some other things
Yeah, they look pretty
that we
cool.
see. Yeah,
I guess different if you don't count Demigorgons.
yeah, true. But this came out before. Wait, did this come out before that?
No,
No.
No.
I don't think so.
no, just no.
Gotcha.
Brianna, you got any comments you want to add, or you want to just move on?
I'm good to move on.
All right. Now I'm looking up Stranger Things, so I don't look like an idiot. Yeah, I was right. Okay.
Yeah.
The music and sound, pretty big parts of this movie. I'll just let Aaron take it away. I feel a 20-minute rant incoming. Go ahead and send it.
It's a really cool device they use. I won't make it 20 minutes, but it is pretty sweet. The music itself is actually pretty good. I liked the theme. It's nice, and like I said, the perceptive sound, like whenever we're on Reagan and it's completely quiet, is really cool. Um, yeah, and I just think overall, using the sound as the device that they did, it's got some risks to it. So like some people won't like the novelty, and it also like now being watched it for half a dozen times, it kind of loses a little bit of an edge. But first viewing, I was super into it.
Does anybody else have anything to add? I do not. I think Aaron pretty much covered it.
Yeah, I do not either.
All right. Hey, did Johnny K, Johnny Driller, Johnny Sins, did he hit the vision of his that he was looking for?
Yeah, I think so.
All right.
That's all. I thought Jay was gonna keep going.
Yeah, I just because I've seen interviews of him talking about it, and he thinks that like it's his favorite piece of cinema or like TV that he's ever done because he feels like he hit the nail right on the head. I don't know.
Yeah, I mean, they're meshing the themes of family with the suspense of an alien movie. There could be some problems with the directing. You got to make sure that everybody's on the same page of this is what we're doing. I think he does a really good job of keeping everything flowing in the right direction, and it all comes off as genuine, like character driven drama with some. I mean, I say some. A big part of it is the fact that the aliens are hunting them. So, yeah, I think it's good.
Yeah, I think you did a good job as well, Brianna.
I agree. I think like from interviews before this came out, and I don't know, I might be making this up off the top of my head, but I feel like I watched an interview with him just saying like he really wanted to make a obviously good movie, but like have those horror aspects, but not, I don't know,
How
like
to make the worst fucking movie.
yeah, well, not, I don't know. I'm trying to think of like directors, but I feel like the vision is clear cut. I'll say that.
You think he executed on his vision?
Yes.
I'm just gonna say yes too.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, I think you have to. It's really good. I think. Like, I think the tone and everything that's part of this. You got to keep it all set. And I think it's without execution, it would be wacky to watch this movie trying to do a bunch of different things. So
There are some plot holes, but I mean,
let's see. Like with the plot holes, I think the the familyness of it allows you to kind of look around those things.
the familyness of the plot hole.
Well, like the themes and everything, like the importance of the themes. I think for me, lets me look around some of the plot holes and be like, yeah, I mean they exist, but I'm not here for that. And again, spoiler alert, looking ahead at the second movie, losing some of that, I think it kind of makes some stuff stand out a little bit more.
Is this movie one of a kind? I'll take this one first. I'm just gonna go ahead and say no. They had silent movies for many years before they came out, you know, figured out how to use sound, and now as we regress as a species back towards the cave days, we're rediscovering some old tech.
I'm torn because let me say this before Doug goes and whatever.
Aaron, go.
What I do think, because the movies that you're describing, like back in the day, were all silent.
It was a joke.
Okay.
It was a joke.
I mean, I think yes, and not in the fact that like it's a quiet movie, but the way that they use the sounds, and they're using like the sign language, and like those two big components to really drive the movie, I think definitely makes it one of a kind.
You don't spawn like a whole subgenre of movies without being one of a kind. Like you don't have imitators without being something that's original. So I think, yeah, I mean,
Are you sure about that?
yeah, I mean, like movies that spawn these subgenres, they do so because they're unique.
Was Hunger Games one of a
And I think
kind?
no, it wasn't even the first like that type of movie.
Because after the Hunger Games came out, all the fucking dog shit movies that came out,
Oh, you're
fucking
talking about like
Maze
teen
Runner,
dramas. Okay.
Insurgent,
I was thinking you're talking about more like battle royale games because those
game.
movies have been around.
Hey, I'm just messing with you, bro. Proceed.
But yeah, I think I'm done.
I was just saying, I don't think something has to be one of a kind for people to copy it. I just think it has to make fucking money, and then they're like, oh shit,
Well, no, I think
we're gonna copy it.
not necessarily copy it. I think like spawning a subgenre. Yeah, like you can copy stuff, but like if you're the first to do this, which is like a half horror movie about like no, like you can't make sound or whatever, and using that as a pilot for the movie, I think that's pretty original, and I think that's what caused people to copy it. Not that it made money, which it did. It did make a lot of money.
They definitely copied it because it made money. All right. Was this movie above and beyond? Let's start with Brianna.
For me, yes, I think it does go above and beyond, even though like it kind of a little bit loses like, or I don't even want to say loses, but like, I mean, once you've seen it once, like then you're expecting all the other stuff. But I still think it's a good watch, and it's still like if I'm talking to somebody and they're like, "Oh, I've never seen that movie," I'm gonna be like, "Oh, well, I mean, you should like." I would be willing to sit down and see it with them again, just to see like
Yeah.
their reactions and stuff like that. So for me, I would say it goes above and beyond.
Yeah, with the sign language stuff, taking that so seriously and casting a person who actually has to use sign language, I think that was a big step um, in being above and beyond. Like they could have just not cared and just cast people to make money and like get the big
Yeah.
names. I do like that they actually care about setting this up correctly. Um, and I think yeah, I think it goes above and beyond it at establishing this. The everything about it I think is it's hard to get there in a type of movies like this. So good job.
I fully agree with Aaron and Bree. They, covered all the little points. So yeah, I'm just gonna agree with them.
All right. So I guess I'll just leave it off with was this movie above and beyond? No. All right. Let's move right into the ratings.
Why don't you think so?
It's not. For me to be above and beyond, the movie has to be like really, really fucking good, and it's not really, really fucking good. It's just like a good movie, so
Yeah,
therefore it's
I
not
don't
above
think
and
it's
beyond.
I think it's really good. I don't think it's insanely good. This isn't like a masterpiece we're talking about here.
This ain't no Dune.
But like
Oh,
I
God.
said, for me it's the production stuff that puts it above and beyond. Just for me.
All right, let's just move right into the fucking power rankings.
Okay, I would give this movie. God, I'm torn. I'm like torn between a B plus or an A minus. All right, so I'm gonna give this movie a B plus for me personally because I still think this is a really good movie. However, like we've talked about, after you've watched it once, it's not as suspenseful, and like the first half of the movie seems to go like really slow once you've seen it once. But I mean, I still rank it up there because they just did so many things right with the behind the scene things. Like I mentioned, I love how they kept the cast like short. I love how they used a person who is deaf to play a person who is deaf. Like representation really matters. And I could probably list other things, but I'll just kind of end it there. It's a B plus for me.
Okay, Jacob.
I'm also gonna have to give it a B plus.
All
Bree said
right.
it's good the first time, like really good the first time, but after watching it 2, 3+ times, it just kind of loses its luster.
One more thing to add on the ranking, real quick. I also like how, I mean, like they didn't know at the time. I'm sure they always hoped like they were gonna make a second movie, but I like how they left things unanswered too. Like that was kind of part of it. I thought it was good.
Okay, Aaron.
I think it's firmly in the middle of the B's. I think watching it the first time, I was really entranced by the novelty, but novelty's worn off now, and it's still good, and it still does. It still is really good at creating suspense. That's why I put it in the B's. I could see the beginning when I first started. When I first watched it in theaters, I would have firmly put it in the A's. But like I said, it does kind of rely on something that once you've seen it, it is no longer as cool. And that's not a big deal, but I think that's what takes it down a level for me. But also, I want to say it is still really good, and I would recommend it to basically anybody, like horror fan or not. I think this is a movie that anybody could get into.
Yeah,
Especially if it's the first time. So I'm just going to agree with Aaron. At first time, this movie is an A, but like every other time, it's a B. So I'm giving it a B. I don't really have anything to add to that.
Okay, cool.
That nobody else has already mentioned.
Brianna,
Yes.
you are next in the movie pick. What are we picking?
I wanted to go with Scooby Doo, the live action movie.
Fuck
It'll
off.
really keep you on the edge of your seat.
what
So
a banger!
no, my pick for next week is Shutter Island.
Okay.
Ooh.
A movie I have not seen.
Really?
Nope, I have never seen it.
I remember going to see it in middle school, but it's been a while since I've seen it.
Okay, cool. Well, Shutter Island's coming up next. Other than that, though, you can always find us on Twitter at ThrillKillPod. You can subscribe to us on YouTube, and that's pretty much it. Anybody else?
Bye bye.
No, it's thanks for joining us this week. Yeah, we love you.